is I want to see you be excited about your life right now. I want you guys to be excited about the life you're living now. I don't want you to wait until you're later in life thinking, I'll enjoy it later, but right now I just got to get through it. Because the reality is, most of us, when we wake up in the morning, are you excited? Are most of you guys excited when you wake up right in the morning? Like, woo, it's 5 a.m. I get to get up, right? No. What time does school start? 7:30? So what are you waking up at, like 7:29? But here's the thing. Most of us, when we wake up every day, we wake up with this thought: 5 more minutes. Please just give me 5 more minutes. Right? And that's after you've hit snooze 4 times. Some of y'all, the first thing on your clock that gets worn out is the snooze button. Everything else looks brand new, but that snooze button's worn off. It just says ooze. But I'm telling you, there's got to be more to life. And even after we wake up, even after we get going, many of us have this thought: I just got to get through it. I just got to get through the day. I just got to get through the week. I just got to get to the weekend. I just got to get through it. I'm telling you, I don't want to live a life that I'm just trying to get through it. I want to live it. I don't want to get through it. I want to live it. And it's possible for us to do that, because here's the deal. If you're waking up every single morning and you're thinking, oh, I just need 5 more minutes, or oh, I just got to get through today. If you're living a life where you're just trying to get through today, that means that you're living a life of regret of yesterday. See, if you regret what you did yesterday, that's why you're not excited today. See, if you did something good yesterday, then you're pumped to wake up today. Let me tell you what I mean. And these guys are coming around passing out pens if you guys need a pen. How many of you guys are taking good notes? Taking some good notes? I've got spies everywhere. If you don't take good notes, somebody's going to come by and pop you. Because I care about you so much, we're going to teach you to actually learn something that'll change your life. All right. But here's the deal. If you do something good today, you're going to be passionate about waking up tomorrow. You're going to be excited. It's only when I do something that I'm not happy about today, that I'm not excited about today, that tomorrow I just want to get through it. I just want 5 more minutes. See, if you win the big game today, you're going to be pumped up tomorrow, right? If you win the big game today, you're gonna wake up pumped up tomorrow. If you finally get out of your comfort zone to kind of go talk to that person that you've had a crush on for so long, if you get out of your comfort zone, go talk to them today, you're going to be waking up all perky and ready to go tomorrow. Go talk to them again. If you study for that test tonight, like some of you need to, I'm glad you're in church though. Good job. But if you study for that test tonight, you're going to be okay when you wake up tomorrow morning. But if you don't study tonight, you're not going to want to get up in the morning. In fact, you're going to be like, I'm sick. I can't go to school. So, many of us regret what we did yesterday, and we're letting that regret decide and dictate our emotions and our perspective of our life today. And I don't know about you, but I want to be excited for today. So today I better do something worthwhile. I don't need to stay up watching romance movies on Netflix all night long because I have no romance in my own life. Ladies. Because you might feel good watching somebody else on TV have a romance that you wish you could have.
That's good.
And so you feel good watching these movies for a moment, but then when you wake up, you didn't do anything good in your life, so you don't want to wake up. You just want to sit there and live your life through Netflix. Guys, you're not off the hook. See, some of you guys, gentlemen, some of you guys, you want to play video games because you want to conquer that video game in non-reality, in a fake life, because you've never put the effort, time, or perspective into conquering something in your real life. See, so you might stay up all night playing video games thinking it's all good and everything feeling good for a moment, but the next morning you're going to wake up not wanting to get up because you didn't do anything worth getting up for the day before. Just saying. We only get one life. So let's live it. And here's the deal. Without purpose, you will never feel excited about your life. Without purpose, you will never feel excited about your life. See, if you don't have a purpose, or you don't know what your purpose is yet, or you know what your purpose is, but you're ignoring it, then what's the point of getting out of bed? Why are you going to do it? Why are you going to get out of bed? What's the point if you're not going to live for your purpose or if you don't know what it is? Romans 8:28, one of my favorite scriptures, says, and we know, not we think or we hope, but we know that God causes everything, everybody say everything, to work together for those that love God and are called according to His purpose for them. You have a purpose. God has a purpose for you. Look at your neighbor and say, God's got a purpose for you. He does. God has a purpose for you. Not only, listen up, man, this is great. Not only does God have a purpose for you, but He is working everything He can around you to point you towards your purpose. He is working everything around you to make sure that you know what your purpose is. He is moving everything around you for the good of those that love Him so that you will succeed and not fail in your purpose. You have a purpose. And God knows that you need purpose. Because God knows that without purpose, you're going to make bad decisions. See, without purpose, we make bad decisions. If we don't know what to do with our life, we get bored, don't we? And when we get bored, I don't know too many people that make good decisions when they're bored. There's one time I had two roommates in college, and one of them was from overseas in Ecuador, and man, we just loved to mess with this guy. We did. It was just fun. Yeah, we're still friends today. I don't know why he's still friends with me, but he is. And the thing is he was just a different guy, and he was very awesome, but he was very clean and very neat and very schedule oriented. I mean, this kid knew exactly. He set an alarm to wake up every single day. He set an alarm to what time he needed to leave the house. He would come home and take a nap and then set an alarm for when he's going to wake up and then go to bed. And go. Every single day, boom, 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 just like clockwork. He did everything the same every day, right? And so me and my roommate one day, we're bored. My other roommate, we're bored, and we decided, let's go buy some firecrackers. And set them off in my roommate's room while he's sleeping, taking a nap. And so we did. We put a pot in the room. He's up on the top bunk sleeping. There's those little cat things, so we light it off, and it's like pop, 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 pop. Right? It burned his bed. It popped up, and there's burn marks everywhere. He wasn't happy at all. In fact, he didn't talk to us for about a week. Really. He had a thing about his bed. His bed had to be perfect, and now it's got burn holes everywhere in it. It's just funny, man. We don't really make good decisions when we're bored, do we? Because here's the deal. Though this is a little bit lighthearted and funny, for an entire week, for a bad decision that I made in a moment where I was bored, for the rest of the week I had drama with my roommate. See, and when purpose leaves your life, drama will fill your life. When you walk away from purpose, you're walking towards drama. See, when you walk away from your purpose, drama is going to come. Because you're going to get bored and you're going to make bad decisions, and bad things are going to happen. Things that are never supposed to happen, whether they're small, little, big, whatever it is. You're going to get bored and you're going to make decisions that are going to cause you drama in your life. See, but when you're following purpose, you don't have time for drama. I don't have any drama in my life. And every time drama comes to my doorstep, I say, stop. I don't have time for it. I'm sorry. When people come to me with their drama, I say, stop. I got time for you, but I don't have time for your drama. I love you, but your drama needs to stay at the door. And if you're being dramatic, I'm just going to tell you. That's why some of you guys stopped talking to me. When your purpose leaves your life, drama fills your life. And you can either live with purpose or you can live in drama. I'm telling you, God knows that you need a purpose. God created you with a purpose. And He is working everything around you that He can to make sure that you have your purpose so that you wake up, pumped up, ready to go to live your life today. See, many people make God's purpose for our life harder than it is, don't we? We think, okay, God's got a purpose for my life, so that means I need to act a certain way, dress a certain way, convince people I'm a certain way. I can't tell people about this part of my life, and I've got to keep this part of my life secret. I have to talk this way and look this way and show up at this place at this time and not show up at this place at this time. I have to make sure I do these things. I got to make sure I don't do these things. Oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. And we don't want it. Because we think God's purpose for our life is us trying to be perfect when we're never going to be. But God's purpose for your life is not for you to pretend, or God's purpose for your life is not for you to pretend you're perfect. God's purpose for your life is much more simple than what we make it. In fact, Matthew 22, he gives you flat out every single purpose. You don't have to wonder. You're going to leave here tonight knowing exactly what God's purpose for your life is. If you haven't found your purpose tonight, you're going to find it. If you didn't know what it was, you're going to know it now. If you've been running from it, I'm going to slam it in your face right here. Matthew 22, 37, 38 says, Jesus replied, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. And the second is equally important. Love people as you love yourself. See, the secret to your life, the secret to your purpose, the secret to your one life is this. Love God, love people. If I had a microphone, I'd drop it. Here's the deal. That sounds simple. We're all sitting there thinking it can't be that easy. And it's not. But it is that simple. See, loving God, loving people is not easy, but that's simple. See, you need to stop making things so complicated and making it about things that God doesn't want it to be about. And He's flat out telling you, here's what your purpose is about. Love me, love people. Love God, love people. Everybody say it with me. Love God, love people. See, every single one of us are going to walk down a different path. None of us are going to have the exact same life, but yet we have the exact same purpose. See, and every single one of us are going to go down a different path and use that purpose in a different way, but all of us are going to love God and love people. If you're going to be the President of the United States, you're going to do it loving God, loving people. If you're going to be a cop, you're going to do it loving God, loving people. If you're going to be a teacher, you're going to do it loving God, loving people. If you're going to be a student, which is what you are right now, you're going to be a student loving God and loving people. Whatever area of your life, whatever direction you go, your purpose is to love God and love people. Not dress a certain way, act a certain way, and talk a certain way. Love God, love people. See, that's the difference between a purpose and a profession. See, if you're the President of the United States, but you don't love God and love people, that's a profession, not a purpose. So if you're the President of the United States and you love God and love people, now it's a purpose. If you're a police officer, if you're a teacher, and you don't love God and love people, then that's just a profession. It's how you pay your bills. But in whatever you do, if you love God and love people, it is no longer your profession. It is now your purpose. I don't want a profession. I want a purpose. If this was my profession and I didn't love God and love people, believe you me, buddy, I would have quit a long, long, long time ago. But I love God and love people. And since I have purpose, no matter what comes my way, I wake up in the morning pumped, ready to go, because I love my life. See, it's very simple, yet it's kind of hard for us to stay on track, though, isn't it? See, loving God and loving people is not easy. Simple to understand, simple for us to maybe comprehend and start to apply, but then we go back and we start to get off track. We start to do things that we're not supposed to do. We have the best intentions to say, God, I love you, and people, I love you. We have all the best intentions, but until we actually start looking at our life, until we start actually analyzing where we're going and what we're doing, all of a sudden we think we love God and we think we love people, but then we just look up and realize we're really far from where we should be. And it just kind of happens. Well, all of a sudden we thought we were doing good, and then it's like we wake up and realize how awful and bad we are doing and how things are falling apart. We thought we loved God, we thought we loved people, but then we wake up and we're like, oh my gosh, it's January 1st, I'm checking out, reviewing my life, and it's nothing what I want it to be like. I'm not happy to wake up in the morning. I'm not excited. I thought I loved God and I thought I loved people, so why am I so far off track? See, loving God, loving people is simple, but it's not easy. See, we need to know the reason we get off track, the reason we struggle with our purpose, even though it's simple, the reason we struggle with it is because we've never studied and learned what it actually is to actually love God and to actually love people. We understand the idea, but we've never taken the time to learn how to actually do it. See, if you're going to actually love God and love people, you need to know what that means. And here's what I love about this. They asked Jesus, what's the most important thing in the Bible? What's the most important thing in all of the Bible? They asked Jesus this question. I thought it was a great question. Their motives weren't good, but hey, I thought it was a great question. Jesus, out of the entire Bible, what is the most important thing? And he said this. He answered them. It's what we read. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. And this is the first and greatest commandment. And second is equally important, love your neighbor as yourself. But here's what I love. If you actually read that verse, he didn't just tell them to love. He told them how to love. He didn't say, love God, love people. That's my abbreviation. He was more specific. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul. See, that's the how. Loving God is what we do, but how is the heart, the mind, and the soul. See, if you don't love God with your heart, mind, and soul, then you're not loving Him right. You're not doing it right. And that's where we get off. We think we love Him, we intend to love Him, but then we don't put our heart into it, our mind into it, or our soul into it. So it doesn't work. The problem in our culture, especially with heart, is when somebody tells you they love you with all their heart, and they even mean it, and you believe they mean it, and then 2 weeks later they're putting your heart into pieces. They're doing things that hurt you. They said they loved you with all their heart, but then they're hurting you. Does that make sense? For someone to love you with all their heart and then 2 weeks later dump you? Do you think they understood what loving somebody with all their heart was? No. See, what we say and do it all the time. It's so funny that so many people enter marriage saying, I will love you with all my heart, and then they get into the marriage, and they never actually gave them their heart. They kept it to themselves, and so they end up divorced. And then there's other people in our culture that think that they're holding on to their heart, but they decide, and they end up just getting in all kinds of relationships, giving their heart away and not even knowing it. So the people that think they're keeping their heart are giving it away, and the people that think they're giving their heart away are actually keeping it. And nobody is understanding what it actually means to love somebody with all your heart, much less your mind and your soul. God's telling us how. Okay, so we need to love God with all our heart. Now, your heart is not an emotion. Your heart is not an emotion. It's what drives you when your emotions quit. Your heart is what drives you when your emotions lie to you. Your heart is what drives you when emotions and stress and all the things of life come and overwhelm you and tell you to give up. Your heart is the thing that tells you, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. That's what your heart is. And when it feels like there's no hope, your heart is the thing inside of you that finds hope. Your heart is what tells you that against all odds, it's possible. Your heart is the part of you that screams, don't quit, don't give up. It's not over. It's just starting. Keep going. One more bit. And no matter what, in athletes, this happens all the time. Your body tells you emotionally that you're broken. Your body tells you that you're tired. Your body tells you that this hurts. Your body tells you that you got to quit. Your body tells you that you got to stop. Every emotion in you says stop. I mean, your heart says no. Push on. Keep going. Don't quit. That's why the best athletes have the best hearts. It's not just about physical training. They got to have their heart into it. So your heart is the center, driving force of who you are that screams, don't give up. It's the center force of who you are that screams inside of you, don't give up. Do you love God with the center driving force of who you are that screams, don't give up? Do you love God like that? See, when it comes to loving God, I think our hearts that should be screaming, don't quit, quit very easily and very quickly. Oh, God, I love you, but I got too much homework, so I can't go to church tonight. Should have done it earlier. I know I'm supposed to be there, but, instead of pushing on, I quit. I give up. See, God, I want to pray more. I really do. But I'm tired, so I'm going to go sleep. See, God, I know that I should pray, but I'm not going to because I'm too tired. God, I know that I'm supposed to invite people. I know that you've called me to be a light. I know that I'm supposed to, but my emotions are telling me that I am scared of rejection, so therefore I'm going to quit rather than push on with my heart. Instead of inviting someone, I'm going to step to the side and let my emotions control me rather than my heart tell me not to quit and push forward. How can we love God with all our heart when we're not listening to it, when we're not obeying it, when we're not moving in it, when we're saying, I won't quit all these things, but God, I'll quit on you at the drop of a dime? When God tells us to do something, to love Him with all our heart means, God, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do, and I'm not going to quit. That's loving God with all your heart. See, there's a lot of things that we won't quit, right? Oh, we won't quit that bad relationship that tears us up inside, makes us lose our friends, and brings me to tears all the time. I won't quit that relationship, brings drama to my life and overwhelms my life with drama. I won't quit that relationship, will I? But I'll quit church. See, I won't quit being angry at somebody who hurt me. I won't quit not forgiving the person that hurt me. I won't quit letting them know that I'm mad at them. But I'll quit praying. There's a lot of things that we don't quit. See, I won't quit the job that distracts me from my purpose. I won't quit the team that distracts me from my purpose. I won't quit all the hobbies that I have that take me away from the place that I should be, where God is going to use me, where God is going to fulfill me in my purpose, where I'm going to love Him and love people. I won't quit those things, but I'll quit my purpose. Everybody was having fun. Now nobody's having fun anymore, are we? Don't worry, I'm talking to myself too. There's a lot of things in life that we refuse to quit on that keep us away from His purpose. And then there's a lot of things that will take us closer to our purpose that we quit in a heartbeat. We need to refocus our heart to be able to start pushing forward in the areas that God has told us to move in. Our heart is the center focus of who we are that says, don't quit. And in our relationship with God, how many times are you saying, I won't quit versus I do quit? So usually we just ignore God. We don't tell Him we quit. But anytime you ignore God, that means you're quitting something. Anytime you're avoiding God, that means you're just ignoring something. You're saying no. You're quitting in some avenue. Nobody says I quit the gym, right? But if you stop going for 6 months, you quit the gym. Nobody says I quit God or I quit church, but if you stop going and you stop praying and you stop doing what He tells you to do, you quit. There's no easy way to spin that. To love God and to love people with all your heart means that you're not going to quit. When people are difficult, you're not going to quit on them. When people are mean to you, you're not going to quit on them. When people intimidate you, you're not going to quit. When God tells you to do something, you loving Him with all your heart means that you're not going to stop and you're not going to quit. No matter how uncomfortable it gets, no matter how much it stretches you, no matter how hard it is to forgive, no matter how hard it is to love people, no matter how hard it is to turn the other cheek, no matter how hard it is for you to do what you're supposed to do, God's saying, love me with all your heart. That means you won't quit. Don't say that you love me and then quit. To love God with all your heart means you're going to say you're going to love Him and then you're not going to quit with your actions. Oh, that was a good place to shout. I'm sorry. So God's telling us how to love Him. Don't just say you love God. Don't just say you love people. Do it with your heart. In a way that you won't quit. And then with your soul, it says to love God and to love people, to do it the right way, here's how you do it. To fulfill your purpose, you got to love me with all your heart in a way that you won't quit. And then love me with all your soul. Now, your soul is not your spirit. Your spirit's your spirit. Your soul is the embodiment of your life. Your soul is your life and everything that it consists of. Everything that makes up your life, that is your soul. Now, 1 John 2:6 says, those who say they live in God should live their lives as Jesus did. If you're going to call yourself a Christian, is it fair to say that your life should reflect Christ? Christian, Christ-like, live like Him, right? People should know in some way that you're living for Christ. Is that fair? Y'all with me? See, but who do we spend most of our time trying to reflect? Who do we spend most of our time trying to reflect our lives on? God or people? See, instead of loving people the way God does, instead of loving people the way God loves us, we look at how other people love people and we do that. Or we don't do that. See, we talk the way other people talk rather than the way Jesus talks, right? We speak things and we say things and we do things and we gossip about things because people do it, rather than doing what Jesus said and what Jesus wants us to do. See, our life reflects the people around us rather than Jesus sometimes, and we need to make sure we focus on changing that. See, we decide what's right and what's wrong and what we're willing to do and not willing to do based on what we see other people do. Our scope of what's right and wrong is often a reflection of people rather than a reflection of what God told us to do. See, all of a sudden, I'm defending all the things that I do, and I'm defending all the people that I copy, and all the people I'm trying to impress by reflecting who they are, and I'm defending it, and I'm thinking no one can be that much like God, and so I just embrace this life of doing whatever it is that the people around me do, and I'm reflecting them more than God, and I defend that, but then I go home and I look in the mirror, and I mean really look in the mirror, and I don't like who looks back at me. See, we're defending something that we don't even like. We're following something that tears us apart inside. We look in the mirror and we don't like who we are or what we're doing. We want to reflect Christ. It just takes a little bit of discipline. So the good news is, your reflection is not complete yet. We're still young, we're still learning, we're still growing, we're still doing things. Your reflection is not complete yet. See, Philippians 1:6 says, God is faithful to complete the work that He started in you. God's not done with you. God's not finished with you. God's ready to keep going. You're not complete. You're not done. You haven't learned all you learned. You haven't copied all the behavior that you're going to copy. There's still room to grow, guys. There's still a ways to go. There's still time to change. There's still time to get better. But it's our choice about who we're going to reflect. It's our choice about who we're going to mimic. It's our choice who we're going to decide to be like. Are we going to try to be like the people around us? Or are we going to try to be like the God who saved us and gave us purpose? I want you to think about that. Who gives you purpose besides God? Who makes you better besides God? Who makes you stand strong when nobody else can seem to do it? God. Who can fix your life when nobody else can fix it? God. Who never gives up on you when everybody else does? God. Who's the only one that's never lied to you? God. Who's the only one that takes your crap and is still there for you? God. Who do you want to be like? See, if you want to love God, if you want to love God and love people, which is your purpose, you got to learn to love them with all your heart, meaning you're never going to quit. Even if things aren't perfect, even if you fail, even if you mess up, you're not going to quit. And you got to love them with your soul, all your life, everything that makes up your life. You got to learn to reflect Him. And the last one is this. Love with all your mind. Many thoughts run through our minds every day, don't they? Every day we have all kinds of thoughts coming into our head. How many of those thoughts belong to God? On a daily basis, all those thoughts put together, how many of them actually belong to God? See, we can't control every thought that comes to us, right? See, show them that picture real quick. Now y'all have a thought that's not your fault. I gave you that thought. I put that thought in front of you. But you know, here's what happened. Some of you immediately did this. And you looked away. Go ahead and go back. See, some of you guys, when thoughts come your way, not every thought comes from you, but when a thought comes to you, you have a choice to look away or to stare at it. See, some of us don't even like it. Some of us, it freaks us out. We're like, oh my gosh, that's so disgusting. I have to look at it. And though that's funny, that's how many of us get into pornography and other things that we shouldn't. Things are so gross and disgusting, we feel like we got to look at it. We have a choice that when thoughts come, we have a choice to look at it, to think about it, to concentrate on it, to dwell on it, or we have a choice to look away. We have a choice to think about something else. See, and that's the option that God has given us. You know, God said, I'm never going to make you do anything, but I'm always going to leave you with a choice. I'm never going to leave you without a choice. See, you can't say that it's impossible for me to not think about all these bad things, because God's given you a choice to learn how to not think about them. Did you know that bad thoughts are already there? Stressful thoughts are already there. They just come to you. I'll be sitting there driving, having the best day ever, and all of a sudden this memory that stresses me out, that makes me angry, that makes me mad, or somebody that did something to me comes up, and I have a choice in that moment to sit there and dwell on it and put myself in a bad mood, or I have the choice to put something good in. See, bad thoughts are already there. Good thoughts you have to put in there. Good thoughts don't just magically come to you. There are no rainbows and unicorns with fairy dust that are just going to give you good thoughts. We're surrounded by things that are not pleasant to see or be a part of. That's just the world we live in. And there's going to be a lot of things that come your way, and you can sit there and think about the bad stuff because it's already there, or you can start putting some good things in there. So did you know, I've told you, many of you this, darkness does not actually exist, because nothing creates darkness. Darkness is simply the absence of light. See, light you have to put into a room. Darkness is just always there. See, in those dark thoughts that you have to put some good thoughts in there to block out the bad ones. I'm just telling you. It's possible. It's possible. You have the choice to love God with all of your mind. You have the choice to choose which memories you think about. You know, every time I get those bad thoughts, I have to remind myself of all the good things God has done. And you know what? There are days that I think that I am the worst pastor ever. I do. I think that because I'm not perfect. I struggle with things just like you do. And these thoughts come to me. I'm not even thinking them. They just come to me. You suck. You are the worst person ever. Can you believe that you have the gall to stand up in the pulpit and preach to people knowing how horrible you are, Josh Cody? And I have these thoughts, man, I should just quit. I mean, these thoughts come in about 1 second. I've thought about all these things, and then I, in 1 second, feel like quitting because I'm not worthy to stand up here and preach the truth that God has given us. That's what I feel. Those are the thoughts that come to my head. And then I have the choice to just sit there and think about it until it's consumed my heart and I want to quit, until it's consumed my life and I've gone places and done things that I shouldn't do and I'm reflecting everyone except Jesus Christ. And I can sit there and think about it until it's taken over my mind to the point where I think I love God and I think I love people, but my heart, my mind, and my soul, my life belong to bad thoughts, to bad things, and to bad places. And then I wonder why I struggle with my purpose. Did y'all get that? You can't say you love God, love people, and then put your heart, your soul, and your mind and your thoughts into everything else. You'll always struggle with your purpose until you start putting those things in. And so I have to make that decision. I have to make that decision. You know what? No, I'm not perfect, but God, you're for me. God, I'm not perfect, but you made me. Romans 8:28 says you're going to make all things work together for those that love you, and I love you, and I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep moving forward. You can sit there and think about all the thoughts that just come to you, or you can start putting thoughts in your head. And by thoughts, I mean truth. So God says that I am made in His image, that I'm good looking and wonderful, that I'm completed in Christ, that I'm protected by God, that I'm called His friend, that I'm paid for and set free, that I'm forgiven, that I have a purpose, that I'm never alone, and that I am an overcomer. I can listen to my thoughts, or I can put those things that are true, God's thoughts, in my head, and I can start doing those things. See, tonight, I want to trade you. I want to make a trade with you. See, the biggest thing that keeps you from loving God, the biggest thing that keeps you from loving God with all your heart, mind, soul, is the lies that are telling you that you can't do that. The lies that you believe are the things keeping you from your purpose. The lies that you follow are the things taking you places that you shouldn't go. The lies that you believe are the things telling your heart to quit. Saying that you can't, saying that I'll do it later, saying that I'm not good enough, saying that I've got priorities right now. School is more important than God. School is more important than church. School is more important than the lives I'm supposed to affect here at E3 while I'm still a student living for God with a purpose. I'm telling you. The lie that I can't, the lie that I'm not good enough, the lie that they'll reject me, the lie that I'll fail. All those lies. Every single one of us struggles believing something about ourselves that is not true. All of us. And they're lies. And the reason I know that they're lies is because of all the things I just told you. I just took a fraction. I just took 10 scriptures about who God says you are, who God sees you are, who God created you to be. And just those 10 scriptures tell me that all those bad things that I believed about my life, all those things that tell me that I can't, are a lie. Ushers are going to pass you out a piece of paper real quick, but I want you guys to go and stay quiet. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to trade you tonight. I'm going to trade you your lie for some truth. I'm going to trade you the thoughts that are keeping you down for the thoughts that will build you up. I want to make a trade with you. I want you to write down on these pieces of paper that they're handing out. I want you to write down the lie that you struggle with. You don't have to show it to anybody. I'm not going to read it. Nobody's going to read it. But I want you to write down the lie that's holding you back. The lie that's keeping you from loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. I want you to write down the lie that you've been struggling with, the thing that you've been thinking about, the thing that's stopping you from moving forward, the thing that stops you from committing, the thing that stops you from believing that you can. I love what Jessica said. She said that she wanted to come up. She knew she needed to come up, but she let that perspective and that pressure keep her where she was at. I don't want you to stay where you're at. I want you to get better. I want your one life to become exciting. I want your one life to become meaningful. I want you to have up that purpose in your heart every single day. And so I want you guys to write down that lie. And once you've got that, go ahead and line these out right here, guys. Go ahead. These guys are going to trade you. When you come up, here's what I want you to do. And we're going to do this quickly because there's one thing I want to talk to you guys about tonight. These are all the scriptures I just read with the references on about who you really are. And I want you to come up here and I want you to grab that paper, that lie, and I want you to rip it in half and throw it in the trash, and I want you to come pick up one of these. I want you to throw away the lie that you've believed, and I want you to pick up the truth that you need to start thinking, that you need to start believing. And I made them in nice cardstock and everything. You can put them in your purse, put them in your wallet, put it on your mirror, put it on your dash. I want you to have this. And every single time you start to think about those things that you shouldn't think about, all those bad things holding you back, you pull this out and say, no, here's what I am. I'm made in His image. I feel alone. Nuh-uh, I'm never alone. Hebrews 13:5 says I'm never alone. Oh my gosh, I don't have any reason to wake up today. No, Romans 8:28 says I have a purpose. Oh my gosh, God must hate me. No, Ephesians 1:7 says that I'm forgiven. And you pull these out, and every time somebody or Satan lies to you, you can pull this out and tell yourself the truth. Now I want you guys to go ahead, and when you got your lie, I want you to come up here and I want you to rip it in half, throw it away, and I want you to pick one of these up.